yourself hurt one of these days.
Couldn't do it in a better place, eh, Eddie? You're looking more cheerful. Toothache gone? Oh, no, I'm going to be late again. That's the second time this week. See you later, Eddie.
Inspector Cameron, I'm looking for my office.
We have no one here of that name.
You have now.
Police department's down the street.
I know that. I'm the Provincial Detective. An office has been provided in this building for my use by order of the Provincial Premier.
No one told me.
Consult your book, man. Consult your book.
Sixth floor, room 103. It'll be a long wait. It's out of order. You'll have to use the stairs.
Why don't you get it fixed? Good morning.
Inspector Cameron.
Hmm?
I'm Fletcher.
Oh, how do you do? Fletcher? Just Fletcher?
Miss Fletcher.
Why?
Do you take milk and sugar?
Hmm?
You do take tea?
I can't get anything more potent. Yes.
I've given you a personal file in here. I'll keep it locked, of course.
I can keep anything confidential in my desk.
Well, your desk doesn't lock. In this department, only permanent personnel have keys. So many of the temporaries forget to give them back.
Ah, and I'm temporary.
Well, I understand you'll just be using this office until you've completed your report, Inspector.
I think that'll be quite long enough, Miss Fletcher.
My hours are 8 a.m. until 4, Saturdays until noon. If you need me extra time, I'm afraid it'll have to wait until morning because I have to get home to feed my cat.
Ah, yes, your cat.
I don't take lunch.
You don't?
No. Taking time off during working hours is, in my opinion, most undesirable.
Oh.
Apart from the waste of time, you may have noticed that our elevator is out of order.
Yes, I did.
No one would wish to climb up and down those stairs 4 times a day.
Well, the alternative is to stay home until the damn thing's fixed.
Please, Inspector, don't swear. It's been out of order for 6 weeks. Rome wasn't built in a day, you know.
My, Miss Fletcher. What a striking turn of phrase, eh? Yes, I can see you're going to be a great help to me. Rome wasn't built. Well. I can see my report is going to be a real masterpiece.
Is that a joke, Inspector?
Just a touch of irony.
I see. I don't have a sense of humor.
Please, no more questions.
No, I just want to say how sorry I am about your brother.
Thank you.
The inquest seems to have upset you, Miss Logan. Wouldn't you like to sit down for a moment? There's a nice, quiet place around the corner.
It's awfully strange not seeing Eddie every day.
Did you share an apartment?
No, we worked at the same place, at the Royal Hospital.
Oh, right near where it happened.
Yes. Eddie was a porter in emergency.
I know. Are you a nurse?
No fear. I could never pass the exams. A kitchen maid, that's me.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Half the patients claim we're trying to poison them. Mind you, the food is pretty awful.
Well, in that case, we'll go on meeting here.
Who said we're going to meet?
Well, I'd like to, if it's all the same to you.
Well,
Well, you can't come to much harm in the Dominion tea rooms.
I know that. It's just that, well,
Oh, I know. No, you're engaged to be married to a brilliant doctor.
oh, you should just see them. Not much there to get excited about, I can tell you.
I'm glad to hear it.
Of course, they all think they're God's gift to women. Doctors always do. Have you ever noticed that?
Not really. But I'm lucky. I've always been very healthy, so I haven't met too many.
One in particular, Dr. LaRocque. Not bad looking, really, but he will follow me around trying to take advantage. He's the one who looks after us when we're sick, the domestic staff, so it's not easy to avoid him.
I can imagine.
It got so bad I threatened to tell Eddie. That stopped him for a while. But now, well, if he starts again, I won't have anyone to protect me. Will I?
Madam, I think I'd better call a doctor.
Dr. Chisholm, another inquest?
Needless to say,
Look, I'd like to ask you about something. You coming up?
not today, Sergeant.
The stairs too much for you?
I don't think I'd be welcome if on my first visit I came empty-handed.
I see.
What did you want to ask me about?
Well, have you ever heard of a Dr. LaRocque?
LaRocque at the Royal Hospital?
That's the one.
Quite an interesting character, by all accounts. I'd like to know more about him myself.
What's interesting about him?
He's made quite a reputation in Montreal. Claims he's able to cure all kinds of ailments by hypnosis.
Hypnosis?
Yes, he's been giving demonstrations at the Royal. Very impressive, according to my colleagues.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon, Florence. How is Mrs. Cassidy?
Oh, you'll see for yourself soon enough. The last few days, she hasn't been herself at all. I hope I didn't do wrong to call you.
Oh, I think professional etiquette would allow it in the circumstances.
She has no regular doctor anymore, and you were the only one I could think of.
Don't worry. Where is she?
In the surgery, as usual. She's never used the parlor since the master's death. Ma'am, it's Dr. Chisholm.
Come in. My dear Archie.
Edith, it's good to see you.
Yes, it's been a long time.
6 months, at least.
Oh, longer. It's been 213 days since Harold died. Of course, I haven't entertained since then.
Maybe you should.
I beg your pardon.
A person can't grieve forever. If you want my advice...
It was Florence who called you. I just want to be alone.
with all my memories.
It isn't healthy to spend so much time here.
Don't you understand? I want to be reminded of my darling. That's why I haven't changed a thing.
Edith, did Harold ever prescribe you any drugs?
Drugs? Why should he do a thing like that?
You can be frank with me, you know.
But you make it sound so sinister, Archie. Naturally, he was concerned about my health. I've always been very highly strung.
He gave you something to calm you down.
That's right.
Edith, may I see your arm?
My arm? Well, Archie, really, I
Take off your blouse, just roll up the sleeve. How long has this been going on?
What do you mean?
This treatment. You're lucky not to have blood poisoning. Harold had an expert touch. You haven't.
It used to do me so much good.
Used to?
The bottles are all empty now.
I'm glad to hear that.
But don't you see? I need it. My nerves are in a terrible state. Oh, please, please, Archie, you're a doctor. Can't you prescribe something?
Morphine, Edith?
Oh, please. Please, Archie, they're worse than they've been in weeks.
What you are feeling are the symptoms of withdrawal. You felt fine while you were still taking it, but now that the supply has ceased, you're in a bad way, Edith.
Oh, Archie, what am I gonna do? Please. Please, you've got to help me.
I don't see how I can. I certainly can't prescribe. That would only make matters worse.
You mean there's nothing? There's nothing you can do?
One hope, one small hope. There's someone I've heard of who might just possibly be able to help you.
He'll give me what I need.
No, Edith. But he might just be able to help you through this difficult time.
I'm only trying to help you, Martha. Please don't be frightened. Now, I realize you feel the loss of your brother very deeply. And you say that you are having trouble sleeping.
Yes, I am a bit.
All tensed up and unable to relax, Well, I think I can do something about that.
I don't want to take any pills.
No. No pills. I'd rather try something else.
Why are you doing that?
Keep watching it till I tell you to close your eyes.
Yes, Doctor.
Presently, you'll feel very sleepy. Just let yourself drift off. Don't be afraid. That's it. Now, are you starting to feel drowsy? Very well. Now you can close your eyes. You're dreaming now. Dreaming of beautiful things. You are a pretty girl, Martha. You have a right to be admired, to be loved, and to love someone in return.
Yes. To love.
Could you love me, Martha? Could you? You're not sure. Well, it doesn't really much matter whether you do or don't. Because you are going to do exactly what I tell you. Stand up, Martha. Take off your dress.
there.
I'm putting it in there.
This is not the way we've always done it.
It's time you started. Come in. Oh, thank God.
The housewarming
Oh, what can do with it, Archie? We got the glasses.
Only the teacups.
I might have known. Miss Fletcher, my secretary, Dr. Chisholm. Yeah, you look all in, Archie. Still too much for you.
I've just been visiting a patient.
Got all yours put in the morgue.
An obligation to a departed friend, my
Oh,
dentist's widow. I'm thinking of referring her to a specialist your young striker was asking about, a hypnotist.
Hypnotist? I was striker asking about him.
Personal matter, he said. Well, here's health.
Aye.
Scott, shouldn't we offer her one?
No. Teetotaler.
I don't like to cause offense. I say, Miss Fletcher, may I offer you a small libation?
Well, that's very kind. Thank you very much.
Have we another teacup?
No need, Inspector, no.
Taking it home.
Well, certainly. But Percy, been quite off his food lately.
Percy?
Our cat.
Her cat?
Crack cups. For God's sake, don't let Matron see them. Sheltering germs, she says. As if it'd make any difference to the lot we got in here. Better off dead, half of them. And go easy on the scouring powder. Hello? What are you delivering?
Miss Logan? I'm looking for Martha Logan.
Yes?
She does work here.
Well, maybe she does. What do you want with her?
It's private.
Oh, it's private. Does it have to be Miss Logan, or will any pretty young creature do?
Oh, look, if you could just tell me
The name's Blossom, and I finish here at 8.
Oh, thank you. Some other time. I have to talk to Miss Logan about her brother. The one who died.
Oh, poor lamb. I don't suppose she'll ever get over it. Not completely. Went quite demented, didn't she? So they took her away.
Took her?
To the West Wing. Special treatment.
What are you doing in this place? There must be some mistake. Martha!
Sergeant, we allow no visitors here.
I'm here on official business, sir. Are you the doctor in charge of Miss Logan?
Yes, I am. My name is Larocque, Dr. J. D. Larocque, specialist in diseases of the mind. Would you like my card?
That will not be necessary. I don't forget names. Or faces.
We haven't met before, have we?
I'm inquiring into the death of this young lady's brother.
Oh, yes, yes. Dreadful business. I heard about it.
You heard about it?
Yes. That kind of mental instability quite often runs in families. I wish I'd known him better. Maybe I could have helped. Sometimes if one begins treatment early enough, there's still some hope.
And Miss Logan, can you do anything for her?
I haven't conducted thorough examination yet. There are some tests. I'm coming. I'll have to go now, Sergeant. Please call on me again if you need any further information. But not here. In my office. The nurse will see you out. Good day to you.
It's not a matter in which I can involve myself. I'm far too busy with this report.
She was strapped to the bed.
No doubt for her own protection in case she did herself an injury. I'm sure Dr. Larocque knows what he's doing.
Oh, I'm sure he does. He's got her completely in his power. And I'm sure he had something to do with her brother's death.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Whatever your feelings are for this young boy...
Inspector, don't you find it significant that Larocque was there when Eddie Logan killed himself?
Not very. It happened outside a hospital. Not such an unusual place to find a doctor.
Miss Logan had threatened to tell her brother that Larocque was pestering her. Then a few days later, Eddie walked in front of a wagon while Larocque was there.
Stryker, if you think it's so important, why didn't you say so at the inquest?
I didn't know then who Larocque was.
Uh-huh.
Well, but then when I saw him at the hospital, at Martha's bedside, I recognized him at once.
Why do you remember Larocque out of all the people who were present at the accident?
I don't know. Something about him stuck in my mind. I can't tell you what it was.
Stryker, I think you should think twice before you accuse Larocque of medical malpractice. He's very highly thought of. Since you began your personal inquiries, Dr. Chisholm has been inquiring about Larocque too, and he tells me he's still thinking of referring a patient to him.
Dr. Chisholm has patients?
Well, I've a friend, really, a widow of his dentist. She's a morphine addict. Chisholm can't do anything for her, so he thought hypnotism might do the trick.
Oh, I thought Dr. Chisholm had more sense.
Oh, you're a medical man now, are you? I'll tell you what. Chisholm's going to the hospital to see Larocque give a demonstration tomorrow morning. Why don't you go along? You might learn something. I don't need you here tomorrow. But in the meantime, get ahead with that.
Now, I have here a flask which I assure you does not contain rose water. Would you like to judge by yourself, gentlemen? And those of you who attended last week's lecture, however, will remember that this patient was instructed under hypnosis to associate the smell of roses with the color green. Watch closely. In the absence of the indicated stimulus, the patient correctly identifies the substance as spirits of ammonia. Now watch again. See?
That's quite impressive.
A cheap trick, if you ask me. What has this to do with medicine?
A little showmanship doesn't do any harm if you'd attended as many boring lectures as I did in my student days. Hello, what's this?
My next experiment will demonstrate the use of hypnosis as an anesthetic.
This should be good.
I think it's disgusting.
Are you ready, Mr. Fothergill? hold out your hand. Now you will feel no pain whatsoever. Do you hear me? No pain? Gentlemen, you may show your appreciation. From these and similar experiments, it seems quite clear that the human mind can be controlled, even dominated, by outside influences. Now, there is some doubt among the members of the medical profession as to how this phenomenon can be most usefully put to work in the service of healing. I have already demonstrated the possibilities for anesthesia, first discovered by the great Dr. Charcot in his experiments at the Salpêtrière in Paris. Other members of the medical fraternity, most notably in Vienna, believe that these powers can be used to heal the mind itself. My next demonstration, gentlemen, involves a young patient who has just undergone a bereavement in most tragic circumstances, as a result of which her mind has become unhinged. I have been endeavoring, therefore, to use my mesmeric powers to heal that wound by taking her back to a time before the tragedy occurred. Long, long before. Please. Thank you. Now, my dear, don't be afraid. Tell us your name and age.
My name is Martha Logan, and I'm 5 years old.
No! Stop this!
I will not tolerate any interference from the audience. An interruption of that nature does rather put one off one's stride.
The young lady was no worse for wear, I gather.
Fortunately, no. Though in some cases a sudden awakening has proved fatal.
Well, you were quite right to come and tell me about it, Dr. Larocque.
Now, please don't think that I came here to complain about your colleague's quite natural reaction.
Well, why did you come?
To be perfectly frank, I was wondering why he was so interested.
Why ask me?
Perhaps you sent him, Inspector.
Oh, now, why would I do a thing like that?
Well, if it's not the case, then there's no point in going on.
No, please, go on. I'm interested. Now.
Interested?
Well, why the visit of a policeman should make you apprehensive.
But it's just... In some quarters, Inspector, the whole practice of mesmerism or hypnotism is viewed with some suspicion.
I'm sure you have nothing on your conscience, Dr. Larocque.
Of course not, but it's hard to convince people with closed minds.
Oh, I can assure you my mind is always open, isn't it, Stryker? But I'll tell you what, since I missed the demonstration, why don't you give me one now?
But here?
Yes, all we need is someone to hypnotize. What about it, Fletcher?
Oh, certainly not, Inspector.
Pity. That leaves you, Stryker.
Well, I'm not sure that I...
In the cause of science, I want to be convinced, you see.
Convinced?
Yes. That Dr. Larocque has genuine hypnotic powers.
I can assure you I have them. Very well, Inspector. Can I have another chair, please?
Oh, yeah. Excuse me, Fletcher, come on.
Oh, no, you don't have to.
Right here, Inspector, facing one another. Thank you. Please, sit down.
Very well.
Are you ready, Inspector?
Please.
Now, I want you to concentrate on this. Now, keep your eyes on the watch. That's it. Now. Your eyes are going out of focus. The watch is just a blur. Your eyelids feel heavy. It's hard to keep them open. Heavy. Heavy. That's it. They're closing now. Almost asleep. Asleep. Well, what a remarkably speedy result. I hope you're convinced, Inspector.
Incredible. I never believed it or hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
You'll have to excuse me. I have another patient to visit.
But what about him?
Nothing to worry, Inspector. Should be out of it very soon. The rest should do him good. So, pleasant to have made your acquaintance,
You're
Inspector.
sure he'll be all right?
Absolutely.
Well, where are you going?
Doesn't seem quite right somehow.
What?
But it makes me nervous being in the presence of a sleeping man.
Maybe your last chance, Miss Fletcher.
Well, really.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't think Stryker constitutes a threat.
Hey, steady on.
Oh, you've come back.
Well, I never went away. You didn't really think I'd fall for that, did you?
Are you all right, Sergeant Stryker?
Never felt a thing. Well, Inspector, in my opinion, that just about proves it.
Proves what?
Well, that all this talk about mesmerism is pure moonshine. LaRocque's patients aren't hypnotized, they're drugged.
You two have quite finished playing. Perhaps we can get on with the matter at hand.
What?
Your report, Inspector.
Oh, yes, the report.
Such a pity that you didn't know my husband, Doctor. A fine man.
Yes, I'm sure.
Why, the Governor General would never entrust his fillings to anyone else. And on one occasion, there's a signed picture here somewhere.
Mrs. Cassidy.
Yes, Doctor?
What did Dr. Chisholm tell you about me?
Why, he said that he believed you would be able to help me.
In what way?
Well, you see, for some years before he died, my husband had been prescribing medicine for my nervous condition.
Morphine, Mrs. Cassidy.
I didn't care what it was, as long as it helped.
And did it?
Oh, yes. Yes, the effects were wonderful. But, you see, the trouble is, as Dr. Chisholm has explained to me, that now I can't get on without it. And that's where you come in.
Yes.
Hypnosis, that's what he said.
I'm sorry.
What?
You're too old, Mrs. Cassidy. And too far gone.
Doctor, what are you telling me? That you can do nothing?
Oh, I can do something.
Oh,
Treatment will be expensive, though.
oh, I don't care. I'll do anything. Anything to rid myself of this dreadful craving. This continual need.
Fortunately, you won't have to, Mrs. Cassidy.
Good morning, Doctor.
Morning, Prudence. How's Mrs. Cassidy?
Oh, a great deal better. You'll see.
Come in, Archie. Oh, what a lovely morning. It's so crisp and clear. I was out walking before breakfast.
Dr. LaRocque seems to have worked wonders.
Oh, he has. I feel almost well.
Haven't clapped eyes on her. And why should I? Too high and mighty to come down here, even for a visit.
Well, but she's not in the ward. I made inquiry. I don't understand it. The last time I saw her, she was a very sick girl.
I dare say some special attention from Dr. LaRock done the trick.
What do you mean?
You've seen the act he's got her putting on. My name's Martha Logan, and I'm 5 years old. Every Tuesday afternoon. My God, I wish he'd asked me. I'd give the students their money's worth. Do you want to see my epileptic fit?
The whole thing's a complete fraud. Dr. LaRock can't hypnotize anyone. He tried it on me and it didn't work at all.
One failed experiment doesn't prove anything. I find it most interesting. A whole new medical technique. It may one day replace the surgeon's knife. He's done wonders for my Mrs. Cassidy.
There's only one thing worse than having a lady typewriter is not having one. Confound the woman, I can't find anything.
Well, never mind. Perhaps her cat will be feeling better tomorrow when you'll have her undivided attention.
In the looks like this.
Well, I never guessed you'd find Miss Fletcher indispensable.
I need Miss Fletcher like
a duck needs galoshes.
I've got to see you alone.
Well, now, what are you doing here?
Martha.
Was this the young lady you were telling me about?
Yes,
Please, can we go somewhere private?
No. Sit down. Having just walked up all those stairs, I'm sure you don't want to go down them again immediately. We do have an elevator, but like all government facilities, is inclined not to work. I must say, you don't look ill. The very picture of health, I'd say.
I'd say Dr. LaRock's experiments hadn't done you any harm at all.
What do you know about it?
Well, I was there at the lecture. I saw what he did with you.
You think that's all he does with me?
Martha, what do you say?
Dr. LaRock can make me do things I shouldn't do. Wicked things, and I can't stop myself. Don't you see how frightening that is? Please, I need your help.
Inspector.
When did you first meet him?
About 2 months ago. Blossom, the head cook, scalded herself, and he came down to take a look. Well, he noticed me. After that, he wouldn't keep away.
What did you do about it?
I asked him to stop coming, but he wouldn't, so I said I'd tell my brother.
Your brother?
Eddie. He was working in emergency.
Oh, and what did he have to say?
I never got around to telling him. You see, he had this awful toothache.
Toothache?
I think it must have been an abscess. He was in dreadful pain, so he went to see Dr. LaRock. Dr. LaRock put him to sleep, and after the pain was much better. He was just telling me that when he ran in front of the wagon.
And LaRock was there.
That's right. It's 3 o'clock. I've got to go.
Wait a minute. I want you to remember, did Dr. LaRock say anything to Eddie? Did he give him any signal?
Leave me alone. I told you I've got to go. It's 3 o'clock.
Pretty strange young woman, Striker.
He's got her on drugs of some kind. Did you see her eyes?
Or in a trance?
Oh, that's impossible.
When we attended LaRock's lecture, he had a patient there to whom he'd given certain instructions a week before, which were still obeyed. Now, isn't it possible that Eddie, when he was cured of his toothache, was given some secret command to...
You mean to kill himself?
No, to run across a busy street.
Right under the wheels of a brewer's wagon, eh?
There would have to be some contact, some kind of password to trigger the response.
You remember, Striker? Did LaRock say anything to Eddie?
No, but I remember now why I noticed it. He was whistling.
Whistling?
Yes, and it didn't go with his appearance somehow. He was whistling the same tune that his watch played that day he came here. Do you remember? That's it.
Brahms' lullaby.
Mrs. Cassidy's residence?
May I talk to her, please?
Why, yes, certainly. I'll fetch her.
Hello? Mrs. Cassidy. Dr. LaRock speaking. How do you feel today?
Oh, just fine, Doctor. Am I going to see you?
I may not be able to make it.
Well, why is that? I'm almost out of medicine.
The treatment is becoming very expensive, Mrs. Cassidy.
What's that? I didn't hear.
The next lot will cost you $500. Mrs. Cassidy?
That's more than I can afford.
I'm sure you can find the money somewhere, Mrs. Cassidy. After all, what choice do you have?
believe Eddie Logan was hypnotized into killing himself.
I wouldn't like to have to prove it to a jury.
I know it sounds incredible, but what other explanation have we?
Inspector Cameron's office. Yes, I do know where Dr. Chisholm is. He's right here.
Thank you. Hello? Oh, no. I'll be there as soon as I can. Edith Cassidy has killed herself.
I'll come with you, Archie. Striker, you get down to the hospital right away.
Inspector?
Don't let the rock get near that girl. Right, Archie.
Morphine?
Prescribed by Dr. LaRocque.
She must have overdosed. I'll never forgive myself. Poor woman.
I don't understand. She seems so much better.
I'd better get down to the hospital.
Sergeant Stryker. I didn't expect to see you again. I thought I'd answered all the necessary questions.
Well, this is an unofficial visit. I have a bad case of the toothache, and, well, my dentist won't be there till morning.
And what makes you think that I can be of any help?
I believe Miss Logan mentioned something. Where is she, by the way?
I have no idea. Well, let's have a look. Sit down. Well, where is it? I can't see anything.
Well, it hurts like hell. Couldn't you hypnotize me? The way you did last time?
I suppose I could. It may not work, of course.
That's true.
Just relax. Arms on the side. That's it. I want you to concentrate on this. Keep your eyes on it at all times. That's it. The watch is just a blur. Your eyelids feel heavy. It's hard to keep them open. Heavy. Heavy. They're closing now. Almost asleep. Sleep. 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 Now, my dear, what shall we do with him? He's not bluffing. Not like the last time when he was only pretending to be asleep. Sergeant Stryker, I knew you were playing games with me. No one goes into a trance that quickly. This time, you're going to be playing by my rules. You heard that tune before, I think? And when you hear it again, Sergeant Stryker, you will do whatever I tell you now.
That's what you did to Eddie. You made him kill himself. Bastard. Bastard!
You think they'll keep her locked up for long?
Just until until she's free of that evil man's influence, it may take time. I can't believe that I was so thoroughly taken in.
But you weren't. If cause were genuine.
Ah, that's the trouble.
Ah, you need a drink, man. Striker. Take these things up for me, will you? Yes, you can't face those damn stairs again. And bring me my engagement book, will you? Right. Come on.
Oh. Sergeant, you gave me quite a start.
Oh, sorry, Miss Fletcher. The inspector left his diary up here. He can't remember when he's lunching with the Premier.
Oh, it's over on his desk.
Oh, thank you. Would you file these exhibits away for me?
Ah.
Thank you.
Sergeant, is anything the matter?
You know, when I saw Stryker in LaRocque's office, I thought he might be fooling again. But he was asleep, out like a light.
I hope there was no post-hypnotic suggestion.
Oh, my God, Archie. The watch!
Sergeant, no!
Such a touching gesture.
Glad you found it so.
You mustn't blame yourself too much, Inspector.
Are you implying that it was my fault, Miss Fletcher?
That's not for me to say.
Now, look here, woman, I don't...
Oh, please don't talk to me like that. I'm still very upset.
It's all right, it's all right. But don't let's start bellowing in public like this. Let's go back to the office, shall we? Could do with a wee restorative nip or something.
I believe I could